1971 wasn't just another year in music. It was the year rock music shattered its own boundaries. This was the year when bands stopped chasing trends and started inventing them. From anthems of rebellion to haunting farewells, from sprawling prog epics to glam-fueled swagger, the songs of 1971 weren't just hits, they became landmarks. What if I told you one single year gave us the songs that defined the future of rock? Let's dive into 15 tracks that didn't just soundtrack an era, they changed music history forever. Number 1, Riders on the Storm, The Doors. It begins with rain, the sound of thunder, a whispered vocal, and Jim Morrison's eerie delivery. Riders on the Storm. Recorded in 1971 for L.A. Woman, The Doors' sixth and final studio album with Morrison. This would be the last song he ever recorded with the band, before leaving for Paris. The track blends Ray Manzarek's hypnotic electric piano line, with lyrics that feel like a ghost story, drifting between the real and the unreal. Morrison whispers backing vocals throughout, as if haunting his own song. Within months of the album's release, he was gone, found dead in Paris, at just 27 years old. That made Riders on the Storm more than just another track. It became a chilling farewell, a prophecy hidden in music. Every listen feels like stepping into the storm with him one last time. Number 2, Stairway to Heaven. Led Zeppelin. What if the greatest rock anthem of all time was never released as a single? That's the strange truth behind Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. Written in a tiny Welsh cottage called Bron yr Oer, and recorded in late 1970, it officially arrived in 1971 on Led Zeppelin 4. At first, some audiences didn't know what to make of its slow build and sprawling structure, but within a year, it was already becoming a legend. A gentle acoustic opening, Robert Plant's mystical lyrics, and Jimmy Page's climactic guitar solo. It felt like a journey to another world. By the 1980s, it was the most requested song on FM radio, despite never charting as a single. Today, it's still considered the ultimate rock epic, proof that some songs live forever. Number 3, Roundabout. Yes, it started on a bus ride through the Scottish countryside. John Anderson, the angelic-voiced frontman of Yes, and Steve Howe, the band's virtuoso guitarist, were staring at the endless roundabouts on the road to Glasgow, when inspiration struck. Out of that mundane journey came Roundabout, the opening track of Yes's 1970. At over 8 minutes long, the song was a daring showcase of what progressive rock could be. Anderson's surreal lyrics floated above Howe's intricate guitar work, while Rick Wakeman's dazzling keyboard runs and Chris Squire's thunderous bass line pushed the song into uncharted sonic territory. It wasn't just a track, it was a cathedral of sound, carefully built piece by piece. For prog fans, Roundabout became an anthem of possibility, proof that rock could be as ambitious and sophisticated as any symphony, while still thrilling audiences around the world. Number 4, Brown Sugar. The Rolling Stones. Few riffs hit harder than the opening of Brown Sugar. Released as the lead single from the Stones' 1971 album Sticky Fingers, the track captured everything the band was known for: raw swagger, dangerous energy, and a willingness to flirt with controversy. Written by Mick Jagger, while filming in Australia, recorded in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, the track fused blues grit with rock sleaze. Bobby Keys' saxophone solo sealed its place in history. Though the lyrics have been criticized for decades, the track's groove was undeniable. It topped charts worldwide and became a permanent part of the Stones' live arsenal, a reminder that rock's edge often came with provocation. Number 5, Life on Mars. David Bowie. Imagine writing a parody of My Way and ending up with one of the greatest rock ballads of all time. That was David Bowie, inspired after hearing Paul Anka's rewrite of a French song into Sinatra's hit. Bowie crafted his surreal response, Life on Mars, with soaring piano, lush orchestration, and cryptic lyrics about disillusionment and escape. The song became a glam rock masterpiece. The accompanying video, Bowie in a turquoise suit, staring straight into the camera, captured his otherworldly charisma. At a time when Bowie was still searching for superstardom, this song planted his flag in the cosmos. It was bold, strange, and unforgettable. Number 6, Echoes. Pink Floyd. A single note, a ping, like sonar. That's how Echoes begins, stretching across 23 minutes on Pink Floyd's 1971 album Metal. It wasn't just a song, It was an odyssey. Built on layers of guitar, organ, and atmospheric effects, it transported listeners into uncharted sonic territory. Roger Waters' lyrics about connection and alienation, mixed with David Gilmour's guitar, to create a dreamlike journey. Echoes foreshadowed the sound Pink Floyd would perfect on Dark Side of the Moon. It wasn't built for radio, but it didn't need to be. This was music for headphones, for dark rooms, for getting lost. It redefined what progressive rock could be. Not just songs but entire world. Number 7. Bang a Gong, Get It On. T-Rex. If one song defined the swagger of glam rock, it was T-Rex's Bang a Gong, Get It On. Released in 1971, Mark Bolan's riff-driven anthem dripped with style, attitude, and at the center was Mark Bolan, the glitter-dusted frontman, whose sly grin and cocky delivery made him Britain's first glam rock icon. Bolan wrote the track while channeling Chuck Berry's raw energy, borrowing the swagger of classic rock and roll and fusing it with his own flamboyant flair. Armed with his Les Paul guitar and a stage presence that felt equal parts rock star and otherworldly creature, Bolan made rock dangerous, sexy, and theatrical again. The single shot to the top of the UK charts and cracked the US top 10, making T-Rex a transatlantic phenomenon. But its influence went even further. David Bowie himself admitted that Bolan opened the door for his Ziggy Stardust persona. Bang a Gong, Get It On wasn't just a hit, it was the ignition point of glam rock, a glitter-fueled movement that would define the early. Number 8. What is Life? George Harrison. Post-Beatles, George Harrison stepped into his own light with What Is Life, featured on his landmark triple album All Things Must Pass. The song mixed spiritual yearning with a Motown-inspired groove. Originally written for Billy Preston, Harrison kept it for himself, and it became one of his most beloved solo tracks. Its soaring melody and optimistic lyrics proved Harrison could balance deep philosophy with pop accessibility. By 1971, fans realized the so-called Quiet Beatle had one of the loudest voices of them all. Number 9. I'm 18. Alice Cooper. Before Alice Cooper was known for guillotines, fake blood, and snakes on stage, he had a breakthrough with I'm 18. Released late in 1970, but exploding in 1971, it became the anthem of confused teenagers everywhere. I'm 18 and I don't know what I want, sneered Cooper, backed by a raw riff shaped by producer Bob Ezrin. It was simple, loud, and perfect. Live, Cooper turned the song into theater, stumbling across the stage, sneering at authority, embodying every frustrated kid in the audience. I'm 18 didn't just launch Alice Cooper's career, it gave teenage rebellion a permanent theme song. Number 10. Aqualung, Jethro Tull. With Aqualung, Jethro Tull blurred the lines between progressive rock and social commentary. The title track of their 1971 album painted a grim portrait of a homeless man, balancing gritty realism with epic musicianship. Ian Anderson's acoustic opening, Martin Barre's crushing guitar riffs, and the song's shifting time signatures made it both accessible and complex. Though never released as a single, Aqualung became a live staple and one of Tull's signature songs. It was proof that prog rock didn't have to abandon grit and storytelling to aim for the epic. Number 11. Children of the Grave, Black Sabbath. If any song defined heavy metal's social conscience, it was Children of the Grave. On their third album, Master of Reality, Sabbath unleashed this anti-war anthem with crushing riffs and Ozzy Osbourne's eerie vocals. Tony Iommi's down-tuned guitar gave the track a heaviness that would shape metal for decades. Lyrically, it was a rallying cry for peace, a surprising message buried beneath thunderous sound. Played live, it became a juggernaut, proving that Sabbath wasn't just creating heavy music, they were using it to confront the time. Number 12. Imagine, John Lennon. Sometimes the most radical songs are the simplest. John Lennon's Imagine, released in 1971, asked listeners to envision a world without divisions. No countries, no possessions, no war. Inspired by Yoko Ono's conceptual art, its message was as political as it was poetic. Lennon played it on a white piano, in an all-white room, for the now iconic video, making the vision of peace feel universal. Though critics debated its practicality, its beauty was undeniable. More than 50 years later, it remains a global anthem for hope and unity. Few songs are as instantly recognizable, or as enduring. Number 13. Statesboro Blues, the Allman Brothers Band. Some songs remind us that rock's roots lie deep in the blues. Originally written in 1928 by blind Willie McTell, Statesboro Blues, found new life in the hands of the Allman Brothers Band. Their live version on 1971's At Fillmore East featured Duane Allman's legendary slide guitar intro, a sound that Rolling Stone once described as moaning and weeping at the same time. It became the template for Southern rock, blending old blues traditions with electrifying improvisation. For many, this was the moment the Allman Brothers proved themselves one of America's greatest live bands. Released in 1971 as the opening track of Who's Next, Baba O'Riley was originally part of Pete Townshend's abandoned rock opera, Lifehouse. Instead, it became one of The Who's most enduring songs. The hypnotic synthesizer loop, Roger Daltrey's commanding vocals, and Dave Arbus's soaring violin solo created an anthem of rebellion and release. Misnamed by fans for decades as Teenage Wasteland, the song transcended its origins to become a cultural shorthand for youthful defiance. Number 15, Maggie May, Rod Stewart. Not every classic starts with confidence. When Rod Stewart released Maggie May as a B-side in 1971, he didn't expect much, but DJs flipped the record, and suddenly the world was. The tale of a young man seduced and abandoned by an older lover became a global, topping charts in both the UK and US. Its mix of folk storytelling and rock instrumentation gave Stewart his breakout moment. By year's end, Maggie May had made him a superstar, proof that sometimes the songs artists doubt most become the ones fans never forget. Why 1971 never ended. From stormy goodbyes to stairways, to heaven, from cosmic echoes to teenage wastelands, 1971 gave us more than music, it gave us monuments. These songs weren't just hits of their time, they became eternal. 50 years later, they still shape the soundtracks of our lives, still inspire new generations, still echo with the power of revolution. So now we ask you, which of these songs still gives you chills today? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into the music that shaped history. Because if 1971 proved anything, it's that rock and roll doesn't just live in the past, it never stops echoing into the future.